The NBA is currently being dominated by the dynasty that is Golden State, and the constant threat of LeBron James winning the finals looms over the league as well. Between the Warriors and LeBron, they have accounted for 5 of the last 6 NBA championships, an incredible era of watching two basketball giants battle it out. But in a few years it will likely end, as Klay Thompson and Draymond Green's contracts expire and will likely demand more money that the Warriors likely won't be able to give them. Now we don't know for sure, Klay and Dray could take pay cuts and LeBron may never age, but this video is based on the assumption that their dominance winds up in around 2020. The question then is, which team will take the reins of the NBA and win the championship? And is there potentially a new dynasty lurking in the wings of the league? The answer to both is the Philadelphia 76ers. In my mind, they have constructed a roster that will have the ability to dominate the league in 2020. They have generational talent in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, another potential stud in Markelle Fultz, and then great young pieces in Dario Saric, TJ McConnell, and Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. Plus, Robert Covington is not to be missed as one of the best 3-and-D wings in the entire league. The talent is there, but will it be enough? And just exactly what is required of the Philadelphia front office to ensure they don't spoil the rare chance of fulfilling the process and becoming an NBA dynasty? As well as detailing what the 76ers are doing right this season and what areas they need to improve on over the next season as well. And let's start with that question. The 76ers are obviously doing very well this year as they hunt for a top 4 seed in the playoffs and attempt to make their mark in the postseason for the first time since the departure of Allen Iverson. And they're doing this largely through their efforts on the defensive end. They're one of the best defensive teams in the entire league, and a lot of this is led by Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, their best offensive players also. They have the 6th best defensive rating in the league, and after this many games in the seasons, it is no longer a fluke. It is defensive talent and good coaching. Brett Brown has stated that he allows his players to play with absolute freedom on offense, so long as they adhere to his strict defensive principles on that end of the court. And the results show. The 76ers keep their opponents to the 2nd lowest field goal percentage and the 3rd lowest 3-point percentage in the entire league. The 76ers use great rotations and the knowledge that Embiid is guarding the rim to smother players on the defensive end of the court and make it difficult for them to get an easy or good shot off. But Embiid is really the be-all and end-all of this defense. He is simply so big and so long that he can alter almost every shot without even jumping. This is an incredible asset as it means he doesn't have to give up rebounding position or risk fouling to contest jumpers. In just his 2nd season, he has become one of the best rim protectors in the entire league, and his defensive instincts blow me away for someone that has played basketball a lot less than most other players in the league. Simmons as well has shown the ability to guard players on the perimeter as well as inside the paint, making him incredibly versatile on the defensive end. He also times passing lanes well and gets steals and fast break points, but only seems to try and do it when he's highly likely to actually get the steal. This is fantastic as it prevents him from harming his team too much by mistiming a potential steal. Ben also knows when he's required to help out on the glass and when he should push up in transition to receive the pass as well. These small things he does out on defense helps the team incredibly, something which can be said about almost everything Ben Simmons does on the court. But although their defense is fantastic, their offense has been inconsistent and they turn the ball over way too much. This all comes from their absolute love of passing the rock, something which again stems largely from Ben Simmons. When you have a generational level passer and point guard on your team that goes out of the way to pass the ball to his teammates no matter what, it tends to catch on. The 76ers average 25.7 assists a game, which is good for 3rd in the league. But they are also the worst team in the league when it comes to turning the ball over. They turn the ball over 17.2 times a game, which is simply far too many to put up with, and something that I am sure drives Brett Brown absolutely nuts. Simmons and Embiid average almost 4 turnovers a game each, but it is their role players that make a lot of the dumber passes that lead to frustrating turnovers. The good news is that when they don't turn the ball over, they can look simply fantastic on offense. The ball whizzes around the perimeter, they get the ball inside to the post, and are fantastic at hitting cutters in great positioning. But these moments of offensive brilliance are still too inconsistent to become a truly dominant team. But this is exactly what Brett Brown expected and is planning for. Ever since he got to Philadelphia, he has preached that he would implement his system no matter what players were on his roster. Brown stems from the Popovich line of coaches, and so his style is similar. Get the ball inside and out, move it, cut a lot, and look for shots at the rim or from three. This is the bread and butter of NBA offense, but Brown uses a far bit more post-up and curl plays compared to most teams, and runs a little bit less pick and roll as well. What he hopes to achieve is that over time his players will get better and better within the system, the turnovers will become fewer, and the offensive stretches of brilliance will last whole games rather than just quarters. And this will happen. Over the second half of the season, the Sixers look largely better than at the start, and Simmons, Embiid, Fultz, and Saric and Covington will likely be with the 76ers for at least 5 years each. When this time passes, the chemistry and the ability to play alongside each other will be off the charts, and when this is paired with the raw talent of Embiid and Simmons, it is almost impossible to imagine that this team would not win a championship. But the wild card in all this is Markelle Fultz. Fultz was a consensus number 1 pick in one of the stronger draft classes in recent times. He is obviously extremely talented, but his career has been thrown awry by a strange injury to his shoulder. This injury affected his shooting motion, and at the beginning of the season, Fultz appeared to play through it, and it was clear that it affected his jump shot and free throw mechanics. As a result, the 76ers pulled him out of the team for around 4 whole months. Everyone thought they were doing the same thing they did with Simmons and Embiid. Rest them for a whole year and ensure they come back healthy. Because not only does this allow them to heal that injury, it also allows them a full year of NBA training before they play a full season. We have all seen how much good this has done for Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, who both absolutely dominated their rookie years after sitting out their first few years. But Fultz is back now, playing limited minutes and looking a lot more like the player he was in college than the player he was in his first 4 NBA games this season. He's averaging 7.5 points and 4.4 assists a game over a 5-game stretch, playing only 16 minutes per game. This goes out to 15 points and 9 assists a game if he was playing normal starters minutes of around 32 minutes per game. This kid is good. He has been using his length and strange luring dribble to blow by defenders and get to the rim or to his pull-up jumper. Only one thing concerns me. He hasn't taken a single 3-pointer over this stretch. This could be on purpose, as his jump shot mechanics might not be there yet for the 3, and the coaching staff may have told him to not even attempt them. But he does eventually need to start shooting the 3 ball, as it was a huge part of his game in college, and part of the appeal of Markelle was his ability to shoot 3s, especially off of the dribble. This opens up the game for him and also allows him to spread the floor for his team. Without this weapon, he wouldn't be nearly as valuable to the 76ers, as having 2 non-3-point shooters in Simmons and Fultz share the floor could give rise to spacing problems. But I have full confidence in Fultz to find his 3-point shot in the offseason, as after all he was taken number 1 for a reason. And then when he does, the 76ers will have 3 fantastic talents, 2 of which have already proven to be generational talents capable of becoming all-time great players. And they'll also have the cap space to sign another max player over the next 2 seasons. The 76ers have $30 million in cap space this offseason and have $36 million in the one after. They'll want to make a move for a maximum level player in these 2 years, as afterwards Dario Saric and Ben Simmons will hit free agency and chew up that cap space. So by signing a max player in one of the next 2 years, they'll be able to go over the cap to sign Saric and Simmons and then have all the talent in the world needed for an NBA dynasty. But who could they sign? Everyone talks about LeBron James going to the 76ers, and whilst I think it is a possibility, I don't love the move for 2 reasons. Ben Simmons and LeBron are very similar players. They both want the ball in hand and are both great passers. Whilst LeBron can effectively play off ball, I'm not sure Simmons is the greatest player next to LeBron due to his shooting deficiencies. I'm sure that they would be able to work out how to play together, but the main reason I don't want them to team up is for the fans. Simmons, Embiid and Fultz is an exciting core and storyline. They'll be a great team no matter what in the NBA. And whatever team LeBron is on next year will also be a great team. By combining the 2, there will be one less great team and storyline in the league, and we won't get to see Ben Simmons develop as a full-time point guard and see his all-time great career unfold. The player I do like going to the 76ers for them is Paul George. If OKC fall out of the playoffs early, I could see him leaving, and the elite wing defender and scorer would be perfect for the 76ers. He would allow them to play a lineup of Markelle Fultz, Paul George, Robert Covington, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. This lineup is honestly frightening, And that is not even mentioning that they would have Saric coming off the bench also. George and Covington are two of the best wing defenders in the league. Simmons has proven he is an elite defender, and Embiid is the best rim protector in the NBA. How would teams manage to score on this team? And then on offense, they would simply be amazing. George and Covington are great three-point threats, and Simmons and Fultz could drive the pick-and-roll offense with Embiid banging down low. Plus, George is still young, and if this move happened, they could easily dominate the NBA for 4 years plus, creating the next NBA dynasty. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I wanted to briefly apologize for my absence over the last 2 weeks. I was on an international trip for university and was incredibly busy, but I'm back home now and will be making videos every Thursday and Sunday, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more NBA videos in the future. And let me know in the comments below what you think of the Philadelphia 76ers and who you want them to go after in the offseason.